Welcome back. On this episode, he buys another one. You did what? What? Okay, Spec.B time. So you thought listening to me talk about the Saab was boring? Then buckle up, because this is my new Subaru Legacy. Yep, like the car that your grandma drives, and if you're lucky, one day you will inherit. God bless her soul. What actually butters my egg roll about this, though, is the exclusivity. This is a Spec.B. It's a really rare handling pack, an option that basically nobody selected in the year 2009, the very last model year that this vehicle was produced, which basically means it's exclusive. My new best friend, Alpheus, from LegacyGT.com, claims that there were likely 112 produced in 2009. I would continue to bore you to death on the rarity of every individual color. You would still make fun of me for sounding like a Corvette boomer. So they were supposedly limited edition, and they actually used to number them, but in the last couple model years, they made so few of them that they weren't even worth numbering. There's a lot of speculation as well as to what Spec.B actually means. Subaru of America apparently claims that the B stands for Bilstein, the manufacturer of the suspension that were exclusive specifically to this trim, though there is other speculation out there. Okay, I promise that's it. I've got it all out of my system. Let's step back to like last March, where past Nick will take it away. It's got real hankies, BCs, some crazy exhaust, but horrible body work done after an accident. I bet you're thinking to yourself about now, wow, just $6,000 for all of that Subaru history, rarity, and motorsport pedigree? No, it's a used Subaru. Get over yourself. Keep track up in the corner. The numbers will just continue to rise from here, because that's what makes a Subaru a Subaru, right? All of the fun little quirks and mechanical failures. You know, just a little play in the shifter. Not a moment too soon either. Hang on, so too bad I actually did not end up liking the Rotas either.
Tell me why every single one of these does this. Drips down there, lands on the floor. Even looks like it's coming out on the top.
Congratulations, it's awful. 180,000 mile wiper deal. 18,000 mile wiper deal. This puddle kind of just keeps on keeping on, right? So we look underneath, I see the banjo bolt down there has a little bit of something dripping off of it, so I'm guessing it's loose. So in order to get to it, you got to pull the turbo out, the exhaust off, the up pipe out. During the process there, I found that the clutch assembly actually ate the inspection cover. It's been there for a second. And the icing on the cake, I finally figured out what that rattling noise is. None of that even takes into consideration putting everything back in, ripped the turbo inlet. It's still leaking oil somewhere underneath the intake or on top of the engine block. The power steering pump started leaking, so I rebuilt it, and then it kept leaking, and then I replaced it, and the new one was leaking, so then I rebuilt that one, only to figure out that the reservoir and the hoses leading to it were leaking, turning the steering wheel all the way to the right for some reason. throws traction control error. It still has an intermittent airbag light. Dash started melting. Coilovers are still overdue for replacement, as well as probably a timing job and maybe even a clutch soon. The rust is still there. I just wrapped over it because that's what you do, because painting sucks. Let me know. Good buy, bad buy. If nothing else, it's nicer to take your girl out to dinner in. Hey, yo, so real quick, I did just want to throw out there, like most purchases I make, I was not really looking for this. It just showed up as a trade-in at my local Toyota dealer. And before you tell me that was too expensive, that was way too cheap, like, I don't know. It was the right price for me at the time, and I thought it was just cool enough. I always had a soft spot for the older WRXs and Imprezas. My only experience with the Legacy platform was a Turbo Outback I had in college. I think I paid $300 for it. So I was like, might as well. And when you look at current prices on these things, specifically the Spec.Bs, I don't know, it kind of makes sense until you consider that I'm probably north of 10 grand into this thing and it's still kind of a pile. Okay, so end of the day, would I do it again? Probably not. If you're not ready to put your money where your mouth is, I'd probably stay away. We're all just looking for something fun to tell our friends about, and that's basically what I have right now because it's sitting in a storage unit 12 hours away from me. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
Deja vu, I just been in this place before. Higher on the street, and I know it's my time to go. Going new, and the search is a mystery. Standing on my feet.
On this episode, we're playing Subaru Bingo. I hope you brought your card. I buy every Subaru. On this episode, Nick sells all his game stock to buy another EJ. On this episode, Nick impulse buys another flaming pile of garbage. On this episode, Nick buys another colander to pour oil through. On this episode, Nick buys the rarest car that you don't care about. Stay tuned.